Hey there, history buff or curious mind. Let's talk about one of the most daring and consequential military operations in modern history. Operation Neptune Spear. This was the mission that finally brought justice to the mastermind behind 9/11, Osama bin Laden. It wasn't just a raid, it was a meticulously planned, high-stakes gamble that showcased the precision, courage, and ingenuity of the U.S. Navy SEALs. Want to know how they pulled it off? Grab your coffee and let's dive into the story. To understand Operation Neptune Spear, you need to rewind to September 11, 2001, the day that changed everything. Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden, orchestrated the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil, killing nearly 3,000 people and leaving an indelible scar on the nation's psyche. For nearly a decade after 9/11, bin Laden evaded capture, hiding in remote regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan. He became a ghost, a symbol of terror who seemed untouchable. But intelligence agencies never gave up. Years of painstaking work went into tracking him down, culminating in a breakthrough in 2010. Analysts discovered a courier linked to bin Laden, which eventually led them to a mysterious compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. And that's where our story picks up. When the CIA identified the compound in Abbottabad, red flags immediately went up. Located about 35 miles from Islamabad, this wasn't some rustic cave or hideout. It was a massive, fortified mansion surrounded by high walls and security measures. Here's what made it suspicious. No internet or phone lines. The residents were completely off the grid. Unusual behavior. The inhabitants burned their trash instead of putting it out for collection. Size and security. The compound was 8 times larger than neighboring homes, with extra high walls topped with barbed wire. Intelligence analysts concluded there was a strong chance bin Laden was inside. But without definitive proof, launching a raid carried enormous risks. If they were wrong, it could damage U.S.-Pakistan relations and embolden Al-Qaeda. If they were right, failure could mean bin Laden escaping yet again, or worse, being killed alongside civilians. Once President Barack Obama authorized the mission, it fell to Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC, and specifically Navy SEAL Team 6, officially known as the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, DEVGRU, to execute it. These elite soldiers are among the best trained warriors on the planet, specializing in high-risk missions under extreme conditions. Key challenges. Distance. The nearest U.S. base was hundreds of miles away in Afghanistan, meaning helicopters would have to fly deep into Pakistani airspace undetected. Secrecy. Any sign of the operation could alert bin Laden, giving him time to flee. Complexity. The compound had multiple buildings, guards, and unknown numbers of hostages or combatants. To overcome these challenges, planners devised a bold strategy involving stealth helicopters, decoys, and backup contingencies. Every detail mattered, down to the weather forecast and moonlight visibility. At approximately 1 a.m. local time on May 2, 2011, 2 modified Black Hawk helicopters lifted off from Jalalabad airfield in Afghanistan. Inside were 23 Navy SEALs, a translator, and a combat dog named Cairo. Their destination? The compound in Abbottabad. Things didn't go perfectly from the start. As the first helicopter approached the compound, it encountered unexpected rotor wash, air turbulence caused by the compound's walls. The pilot lost control, and the chopper crash-landed inside the compound. Miraculously, no one was injured, but the noise likely alerted the occupants. Despite the rocky start, the SEALs sprang into action. They moved swiftly through the compound, engaging armed guards and clearing rooms one by one. Within minutes, they located bin Laden on the 3rd floor of the main building. According to official accounts, he was unarmed but resisted when confronted. 2 shots, one to the chest, one to the head, ended his life. With bin Laden dead, the team collected sensitive materials, computers, hard drives, documents, and prepared to leave. Unfortunately, the damaged helicopter couldn't take off, so the SEALs destroyed it to prevent classified tech from falling into enemy hands. Reinforcements arrived in additional Chinook helicopters, and the entire team safely returned to Afghanistan within 40 minutes. Bin Laden's body was flown to the USS Carl Vinson, where it was buried at sea according to Islamic tradition. The world woke up to the news that justice had been served. Crowds gathered outside the White House chanting, "USA, USA," while others mourned the lives lost in the decade-long hunt for bin Laden. But the mission also raised questions. Did Pakistan know bin Laden was hiding in plain sight? What intelligence did the recovered materials reveal? Could the mission have been conducted differently to avoid collateral damage? Operation Neptune Spear demonstrated several key principles of modern warfare. Intelligence is everything. Years of surveillance, analysis, and risk-taking paid off. Without accurate intel, the mission wouldn't have succeeded. Adaptability saves lives. When the first helicopter crashed, the SEALs adapted instantly, sticking to their training and completing the objective, despite the setback. Secrecy matters. The operation remained classified until its completion, ensuring zero leaks or interference. Leadership makes the call. President Obama faced immense pressure to authorize the mission, knowing failure could be catastrophic. His decision-making process underscores the weight of leadership in times of crisis. Operation Neptune Spear wasn't just a victory against terrorism. It was a testament to human skill, determination, and teamwork. The men and women involved executed a flawless operation under unimaginable pressure, proving once again why Special Forces operators are regarded as the tip of the spear. So next time you hear about bravery under fire, think back to that night in Abbottabad. About 24 highly trained individuals took on one of the most dangerous missions in history and changed the course of global security forever. What do you think? Would you have had the guts to volunteer for such a risky mission? Or does the thought of facing uncertainty like that make you grateful for those who serve? Let me know. I'd love to hear your perspective.